Proscribed Shiite group attacks police officers in Wuse, Abuja, kills 2.
Syndicate facilitating oil theft in Niger Delta meets Waterloo.
After 5 years of FIFA ban, Samson Siasia returns to football.
On Good Morning Nigeria today, our focus is on tackling the scourge of fake certificates.
A disturbing trend has crept into Nigeria from the global education system. This is the proliferation of fake certificates from unaccredited universities in Benin Republic and Togo.
Well, and so recently, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, raised the alarm that 22,500 Nigerians are currently making use of these fake certificates obtained between 2019 and 2023 from Benin Republic and Togo.
You're right, Victor. Majority of these persons, about 21,600, obtained theirs from Benin Republic, while 1,105 got theirs from unaccredited universities in Togo.
Some of these fake certificates were harvested from the records of the Compulsory National Youth Service Corps, as revealed by the Minister of Education.
Another disturbing issue raised by Professor Tai Maman is that some of these students deliberately did not participate in the NYSC program, obviously to conceal their crime, and their data cannot be found.
And the grim reality is that these persons may be working within the Nigerian system.
Yes, Victor, you're right. And we hear that universities that offered these degrees are not accredited in the two countries.
Well, the students also participated online from what the Minister of Education revealed. But a circular is being prepared by the head of service of the Federation, head of the civil service of the Federation, that is, to fish out these persons for prosecution.
Yeah, for prosecution, yes. And private organizations are advised to also investigate their staff with certificates from Benin Republic and Togo between 2019 and 2023.
Well, we now know that only 5 universities in Benin Republic and 3 in Togo are accredited to offer degree certificates. So all reports from investigations should be channeled to the Ministry of Education for clarification. Is a craze for a foreign degree worth sacrificing one's freedom? What motivates these decisions? This is our focus on Good Morning Nigeria today. Welcome to the program. I am Victor Azu.
And I am Ademola Adio. This is our first episode this week. Thanks for joining us. We are reaching you live on the network service of the NTA. Newspaper review will come up shortly with Chukudi Okoli Ugbaja. But first, let's join Olajide Bello for the news. Hello, Olajide.
Good morning, Ademola. Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Nigeria. Here is the morning news. The FCT Police Command has confirmed an attack by the proscribed Islamic movement of Nigeria, popularly known as the Shiite group, on some personnel of the Nigeria Police Force attached to FCT Command at Wuse Junction by the traffic light, where 2 police personnel were killed, leaving 3 unconscious in the hospital, after which the police patrol vehicles were set ablaze. A statement signed by the police public relations officer, Superintendent Josephine Ade, adds that the proscribed organization attacked the police checkpoints unprovoked, while the machetes, improvised explosive devices, locally made bombs in bottles with kerosene and knives. Several arrests have been effected and the situation is said to be presently under control and normalcy restored. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force says it has rescued 20 medical students and other kidnapped victims who have been in captivity for some time now. Francis Form reports that IGP Kayode Egbetokun handed over the students to the Vice Chancellors of the Universities of Jos and Maiduguri at the Louis Edet House in Abuja. Representatives of Benue State Governor, Vice Chancellors of Universities of Jos and Maiduguri, and representatives of the kidnapped parents applauded President Bola Tinubu's intervention and swift response of the force and Office of the National Security Advisor. The Commander Joint Task Force Operation Delta Safe says no stone will be left unturned until criminals involved in oil and theft is reduced or to the barest, if not stopped, in the Niger Delta region of the country. The Commander Joint Task Force South Operation Delta Safe Rear Admiral John Okeke service at the Task Force headquarters in Bogene, Bayelsa State, while parading to suspect who has been facilitating illegal oil theft in the region. One-time Super Eagles coach Samson Siasia is back to football-related activities after 5 years FIFA ban. He was seen in a novelty match in Abuja commemorating his birthday anniversary. And that's the news at this time. Good morning, Nigeria continues with Victor and Ademola after this commercial break.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, with undying demand. We make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Each ethnicity is unique, we have more than just a nation.
We are Nigeria, strengthening unity. We know they carry last. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project, Federal Ministry of Health.
You have to meet my best friend. She's the sweetest. Hey, check out my hair.
Which one? The one on your head or the one in the sink? Relax. Next time, just use the Mega Growth Anti-Damage Relaxer. It's infused with wonder oils and conditioning proteins so you can retouch without breakage. Now your hair looks great.
Thank you.
Retouch without breakage with Mega Growth Anti-Damage No-Lie Cream Relaxer.
In a world hungry for goodness, with a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Make a lunch hour a happy hour. Change no thanks into yes please. Provide care when her nearest and dearest needs it most. And resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty, nourishing family meals is all that matters. The world needs moms, because where there are moms, there is hope, happiness, and love. Golden Terra Oil, for pure love.
Imagine a world where your potential isn't limited by your bank account, where your financial dreams can become reality. That world is here with the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation scheme, Credico. Credico is one of President Tinubu's initiatives designed to put the power of consumer credit in the hands of working Nigerians. Here to help you achieve your goals, whether it's providing for your family or expanding your home or business. Visit www.credico.ng today for details. This is the renewed hope.
A new edition of TV Guide is out.
This time, we got up close and personal with a transformational legislator, the Deputy President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Barrel Jibrin.
It created a difference in terms of representation through interventions that have brought an unprecedented infrastructural development to my area.
This edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from technology, entertainment, economy, media, politics, family, and lots more.
It is indeed a park of excitement as we take you through every aspect of life. Pick up your copy and get abreast with issues and trending features within our space.
TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
When you hear about the domestic FGN US dollar bond, do you think of a win-win investment or an opportunity to be a part of the nation's development? I see them all. The domestic FGN US dollar bond is low risk, higher returns, and secure. Invest with a minimum of $10,000. Download the form from www.dmo.gov.ng. Complete and submit with your evidence of payment to any of the issuing houses, financial advisors, or receiving banks. The offer is open to Nigerian residents, Nigerians with savings abroad, Nigerian diaspora, and institutional investors. For more information, consult your bankers or financial advisors on how to invest in the domestic FGN US dollar bond. Be part of something greater. The domestic FGN US dollar bond. Let's prosper together.
All right, thanks for staying with us on Good Morning Nigeria so far. It's time for newspaper review, and we'll get it to you just after this break.
Our newspaper reviewer is here, Chooks, the boy. You are welcome to Good Morning Nigeria this morning. So what you have for us is wet money.
Oh, it's a wet morning. And that started, from 5 days back. I think the rains are having back on what they missed, because it was not August break we saw this year. It was more of a July break into August,
So catching up on lost time.
Exactly.
Actually,
you can't cheat nature.
They have warned us, actually. I mean, they told us that when the rain comes now, it won't stop until November.
And that's a very good one, because usually the rain stops in Abuja around October 26th, between 20th and 26th. I've always, written this down. If it's going to get up until November, that means that beans farmers have a hope, because they didn't plant early this year, meaning that those crops they were to harvest after 3 months would push beans farther in terms of planting it, meaning that would push beans too much into the dry season. But if it's going to get up to November, God is giving it back to us.
Okay. Anyway, let's rain down the beans. No, rain down the stories.
The newspapers.
I will begin with the Vanguard, which leads with this major story. Executive order on medicaments. FG yet to implement 2 months after. And it has several riders. FG still working on implementation framework 2 months after. Minister. Delay not worth it. People are dying. Oladigbolu. Government must progressively intervene in high tariffs. Akintayo. Implementation details must be properly worked out. That's according to Ifeanyi. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard papers. And above the masthead, FG moves to eliminate malaria, picks Dangote, Otedola, Elumelu to drive efforts. That story is on page 9. And on 8, Catholic bishops canvass regional government, ask Tinubu to fight hunger, graft. On page 20 comes the story, Nigerians hope for lower cement price dims. Nigerians hope for lower cement price dims, page 20. And above those stories, you have court freezes 32 accounts linked to end bad governance protests. That's on page 32. And just before I drop the Vanguard, let's go to Mr. and Mrs. who is knocking at the door like that. I hate people dropping by without notice. I'm going to give that person a piece of my mind. That's according to Mrs. And Mr. replies, check if it's the landlord. We can't afford to be on his bad side. Rent increase is not the best at a time like this. Okay?
Yeah.
Bola?
All right. I have the Nation newspaper with me, and just above the nameplate, Dangote or Tedola Elumelu back federal government's moves to eliminate malaria. The details of the story can be found on page 4. And we have 2 policemen killed during clash with Islamic group in FCT. 3 policemen critically injured, 3 patrol vans touched, 52 El Zazaki's men arrested. Details of that story can be found also on page 4. Court freezes 32 accounts of individuals, firms linked to August protest. Details on page 5. Okonjo-Iweala canvasses economic policy consistencies. Details on page 5. VP government committed to rule of law. $115 million on a port terminal ready for inauguration. Details of that story can be found on page 5. Set to deploy technology in eradicating unclaimed dividends. Details of the story can be found on page 6. Chooks?
You want to quickly react by saying no, not again. When you read news that the Islamic group, traceable to El Zazzaki, that name is always a problem
El
for
Zazzaki.
me. That
the Shiite.
Fatal clashes, fatal, not just clashes. Somebody died. 2 people reportedly died.
But 2 policemen.
Say no, not again. What is causing a flare-up again? Remember the story of the Islamic group? How El Zazzaki, the wife, and all, went into detention and all that. I think we have to engage processes that do not ignite preventable conflict. Because some of these things happening are preventable. What is the bone of contention? Religion should not be a problem for another person. You can only take yourself to heaven. You can't take mom along. You can't take dad along. So the way Nigerians push religion sometimes alarms me. It doesn't matter what faith you're talking about. You can only save yourself. So please, spare us the embarrassment, if not the agony of losing people. I just pray that it doesn't escalate. That's the prayer. I just pray so.
The police said they were armed with various weapons, and they attacked the police checkpoints and all that. If they had a peaceful procession, probably this would have been avoided. And besides the fact that they have been proscribed, so I don't know.
Demola, I didn't actually want to drop that one, So people don't begin to think you're too much, you're against us or whatever. They're proscribed.
Yeah.
That means that the procession is illegal, particularly if they glibly, clearly identify themselves as members of the Islamic group. We have to be careful, Demola. We just have to. There's the bit on malaria, fighting malaria.
Yeah.
I was happy when it was announced some 5 months ago that a vaccine, was being tested, an anti-malaria vaccine. I don't think that rollout has happened in Nigeria. I don't think so.
Not yet.
Not yet. But picking perhaps the 3 most visible Nigerians in terms of financial muscle suggests to me that they were picked to do the job, because this is something that actually requires you to throw in, some money into. Maybe they want to use that as a part of their social responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever the intention is, we have to applaud it, the move, because malaria is how many deaths annually? 600.
No.
600,000?
We have lost uncountable.
Then Nigeria has a...
We've lost uncountable.
Yes. Malaria still remains a killer.
Yeah,
actually, when HIV was being talked about and all that, malaria still remained the biggest killer, not HIV.
Yeah,
That's
in Africa.
To tell you.
Africa.
Exactly. But the alarming aspect of it now is that parts of Europe are becoming warm enough for mosquitoes to thrive in them. So that is actually, that I think is actually why the vaccine was eventually taken seriously. Because Black Africa had been suffering from this scourge of malaria for a long time without anything being done about it. But a stink is now sending a few white skins to the bed,
And then the story on medicaments, FG had to implement 2 months after it was supposed to be an executive order to provide some form of waivers.
Which happened in June. Cost of essential drugs would have dropped. ECG equipment, for instance, laboratory equipment, imaging equipment, would have dropped by that executive order if it got implemented. So the question is, what is delaying it? Is it that it's no longer important? The president did this with good intentions. Is it bureaucracy again? What is it? Let me say this. The riots in Britain, they were even more violent than what happened in Nigeria. Nobody was killed. We have to chip in that. The point I want to make is that people who were thematically, people who were in the thick of that, many of them have been sent to jail already. How many of our own people have we prosecuted? These delays are not things you want to have in the system. Because
well, I think the court is trying some of them. Like, for instance, in the paper...
I've not heard about anyone jailed yet. That's what the point I made.
Okay. Because here it says court freezes 32 accounts of individual firms linked to August protests.
Yes,
all that,
I got that, Well,
I think they are being prosecuted.
Freezing their account,
the process
it depends on what the DSS found out about those accounts and all that. Otherwise, money has to come to get certain things done. The legality of it is what I think the government is going to concentrate on and say, hey, you are fanning the embers of fatal discord and pretending to be not to be the one behind it. I think we need to make sure that due diligence is exercised in making sure that somebody did not take us for granted, as much as we say people have a right to protest. You understand? So
and Nigerians hope for lower cement price dims. I'm not sure why that is.
Victor,
because at some point we were promised that it was going to drop to a certain amount by the major manufacturers.
Have you built a house?
Well,
I did not come here for a personal attack, but I know anytime I hear about cement, I wince because I know where I am in terms of building a house. You see, I talk about if we are serious about stopping deforestation, kerosene price should be one of the things subsidized. We are inviting the desert more and more toward the river Niger. I'll keep on saying it. Same way, if you want Victor to shelter himself in good time, in his prime, one of the things you're going to have to do for him is to make sure the price of cement drops. The 8,000 or so, 8.5 or 7.5, is still not it. It scares me. I don't know about you, Demola. Ilemi is not yet in place for me completely. I don't know about you. Well, your people are very wonderful human beings. They rush to build houses. Where I come from, you delayed so much.
Who are my people? Are you not my people?
I said Ilemi.
Ilemi.
I said Ilemi is very important.
Yes.
And I'm applauding the attitude
yeah.
in the West, in the Western region, where people actually set out early.
Yeah.
It is a habit that needs to be imbibed by other people. I didn't say to deride anyone.
There's no habit. You see, like someone would always say, you don't get angry. You don't get angry and build a house.
No.
You have the resources.
You have to plan.
You have the resources and you build it.
You
don't get angry.
No,
if
it's
not
a matter
there,
of what you prioritize.
If it's not there, it's not there.
Yes.
It's a matter of what you prioritize.
Your priority and probably the culture.
The culture again, yes. Probably the culture.
Yeah.
One of the things, some communities have the things that define their men of valor. At a point, it was the number of wives you had. I think everybody is running away from from having so many wives now. It will still boil down
to your earning power, your other responsibilities. I mean, you can't be building a house and your kids are not in school. Just, to put it
that's why we say priority.
The secret is start early. Victor, some of the money I wasted between the ages of 30 and 45 could have set me up a modest bungalow. I didn't come here to tell the world that